Hello, everyone.
We are back with some more epic football.
Epic football. Not just football, but epic football. Epic football predictions, prognostications. Well, let's actually guesswork.
And also, we have we're doing something different.
Little different. Little different mode. Little different video. A little bit of... Well, the background to this is simple.
Mm-hmm.
We agreed on every team last week, with the exception of one. One game, rather.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose... It was a Thursday night game, wasn't it? No, it was a Sunday morning game. I chose the Buccaneers. And Spuds here chose...
the Falcons.
And, of course, the...
Falcons won. So I win.
So he wins. So he wins last week. So after going 6-0, I've lost the last two.
Yes. Spuds is coming back.
I don't like the sound of that.
Okay. Now, will you announce the twist of this video?
I will announce the twist?
Yes, the twist.
I'm announcing the twist.
Mm-hmm.
Twist! All right, well, it's pretty simple. We decided to do the top 5 teams in the league, as well as the bottom 5 teams in the league. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
The top 5 and the bottom 5?
Top 5 worst.
I don't think that makes sense.
Top 5 and bottom 5.
Oh, yeah,
there
what the producer said. Top 5 and the bottom 5.
The producer is smarter than we are.
Yes, that's why she's behind the scenes and makes everything happen, and we just sit here and look pretty in all our glory. Absorb the prettiness. Okay, so we are starting with the producer, the top 5 worst teams.
Yes.
Okay, these are who we think are the worst 5 teams in the NFL currently, starting from the 5th worst to the worst. Correct? Correct. We can do this.
Yeah.
All right. So the 5th worst team in the NFL, according to us. Okay. Reasons?
Okay. The Jacksonville Jaguars are in this position because I think it's Trevor Lawrence. This is why, and their defense. This is kind of a rough season for them. Obviously, they went 9-8 last season, got in the playoffs. Much tougher look for them. Why did you choose the Giants?
What was that ominous sound? Whoa, did you hear that? I hope you guys didn't hear that. There's like some sort of like alien spacecraft landing out.
It was the fridge.
Or the refrigerator. That was my second guess. I chose the New York Giants because I don't believe in their coach. I don't believe in their quarterback. I think they got a few good players speckled here and there, but I find it hard to see a team they can actually beat, except the teams that I will later
break.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
Yep.
That sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead. Number 4.
So with our 4th worst team in the NFL, I have selected, and he has selected
I selected the Patriots.
I selected the Browns.
And the Patriots would probably just won their way out of the basement. They are pretty bad. They are at a negative 78 scoring, which means they have scored less points. They're 78 points to the down. It means they have been outscored by 78 points for the entire season. So that's not very good. That's the reason I chose the Patriots. They kind of have a quarterback thing. I don't think Drake May is the answer. I don't think that Jacoby Brissett's the answer. They just got a lot of ups and downs. I realize they beat the Jets, and they're coming off a win, but I still think they're in the bottom 5.
Yes.
And your Browns?
Yeah, Browns. Obviously, I would have had them a lot worse if they did not get the win over the Ravens. I probably would have put them at number 1. But they did get that win against the Ravens, which is huge.
Huge.
It's a division rival.
Which is why I could not put them in the bottom 5. Whoops, I just ruined it. Well,
that's all right.
We know they're not the worst team in the league. So
yeah. Yep, it's great to be a division rival and a really good one, too. Ravens.
All right, third worst team in the league.
I have the Tennessee Titans.
You have the Titans. That's where I put the Jacksonville Jaguars. Try saying that 5 times fast. Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, kind of the same thing. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is as good as they thought. I think Doug Peterson isn't as good, considering he doesn't have Frank Reich anymore. It's just a mess. It's been a mess in Jacksonville for a while. They get like good players every once in a while, and they hit on something, and they have like a good season, but then they're bad before and bad again after. So, yeah. So they're number 3. Number 2. Oh, who would you choose?
I chose the Titans.
The Titans. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2. I chose the Titans. Oh, you think the Patriots are really bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a good look for the Patriots.
Not consider what they've been for the last 2 decades. Yeah, it's not a good look. I mean, they're in reconstruction mode. It happens to all teams. So I would, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now before there's 2 teams I would like to mention before I get to the worst teams. One of those is the Aaron Rodgers led New York Jets.
Is that an honorable mention?
Is an honorable mention. They're not in the bottom 5, just because I think there's some hope. I think what it is the fact that I still can't give up on Aaron Rodgers. At some point in the season, him and whatever's left of the coaching staff that he hasn't had fired yet will click on something, and they'll probably win about 2 or 3 games and end the season with about 5 or 6 wins. That's why I don't think that they're the bottom 5. The next one I can't put in because my heart is there for my brother, and that's the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
They've only got 2 wins. They're really horrible in a lot of areas. Their defense is good and then not. Gardner Minshew is good, then he's not. So they just can't hit on all 8 cylinders. So they have different games where they play different parts well, but they just can't put it all together. I don't think they were the bottom 5 team.
Yeah.
But they're probably bottom 10, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not bad enough to put in here. And they just got to get a quarterback somewhere.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know if they should draft one or trade for one. Maybe get one for agency.
Yeah, but you're not going to trade at this point in the season because the season's over, and I think they understand that. I don't think there's anybody good in the coming in that's might be worth a hoot. I don't know. That might change by the end of the year. But the problem is they'll probably win enough games that they'll be far enough back in the draft that they really can't do anything with it anyway. So, anyway. All right. The worst team. What do you got? In the NFL is?
Panthers.
I think it's pretty unanimous. The Panthers are the worst team in the NFL. Been for the last 2, possibly 3 years. They're just bad. It's awful.
They got rid of their star players. They got rid of Brian Burns, Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore. The list just goes on. And Bryce Young is clearly not the guy.
Not the guy. Bryce Young probably needs to go somewhere, sit underneath a really good quarterback for about 2 or 3 years as a backup, and then maybe he can creep into the NFL as a veteran. Kind of like a Geno Smith thing.
Yeah.
If he shows any kind of attributes. I haven't really watched him play, but I've seen his stats and the highlights, and they're really low lights. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not. It's not very good. But you don't want to root against these kids. You want them to succeed.
Yep.
Maybe he just needs to be in the right environment where he can succeed, and he might end up being okay. All right. This
Now,
is it. Go ahead.
5 best teams in the NFL.
5 best. The top of the top. The best 5 teams currently in the league as per Spuds and myself. I put in at number 5. Ooh, you went Texans?
Yeah, Texans number 5.
I went Ravens. I know that sounds like a stretch. I know that they've got 3 losses, and they just lost to the Browns. But when you see that team play, they just got... Their defense isn't like it was last year, right? Admittedly. They're slipping back. I would say about a week or 2 ago, I'd put them in the top 3. So for me, they're slipping back a little bit, but there's nobody that I've seen that creeps up ahead of them, which is why they're still in the top 5.
Yeah.
Texans are good.
Texans are good.
I do agree. They're good. Mm-hmm. Anything you want to say about C.J. Stroud? Or?
C.J. Stroud is looking good.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's good, and I wouldn't say it's as good as his rookie season, but still putting up some good numbers. Top 5 team.
They're a more rounded team, or they're a more seasoned team, I guess. Yeah. And so now Stephon Diggs just went down. Nico Collins is still hurt, so he's going to have a little bit trouble. They're going to have to dig deeper for receivers,
like Don Schultz, Tank Dell, players like that.
So we'll see if they're able to pull something out.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll make the playoffs because their division is so weak.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, we had 2 of them in 5 worst teams: Jacksonville Jaguars, Titans.
Tennessee Titans, yes. And I haven't made up my mind about the Colts. I think they're mediocre.
Yeah, they're in the middle.
Joe Flacco's now starting for them.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I think he's good for the end of the year. He might be good for like 4 or 5 games, but man, it's kind of early in the year.
Yeah.
A little long in the tooth to go like second half of a season, then try to do a playoff run. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. All right. 4th best team, I chose. Interesting.
Yeah, I have the Ravens here.
I have the Steelers here. They are 6-2. They snuck up to 6-2. Mm-hmm. Russell Wilson, although he wasn't his best, he reminded me of the Seattle Seahawks Russell Wilson, the guy that kind of ran a little bit more. They get down the field and just get field goals. Kind of relies on that defense an awful lot, and then chokes up a stupid play. But because his defense is so good, they bail him out. That's kind of what Russell Wilson's deal was back when he was in Seattle. But I do feel he's better here than he is in Bronco land, and I do feel that right now Russell has just a slight edge over Justin Fields. And I think that's what makes him better. Mm-hmm. And considering they have a pretty good lock right now, leading the division, they're a game ahead, but they haven't played any division games yet.
They haven't.
So things may change. But right now, I think they are the 4th best team. 4th, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Yes. Okay. Team number 3, best in the league. Ooh, we agree on that. The Bills. Why say you?
The Bills are a good team. They're very good. They are just not good enough to crack the top 2 for me. They are very well on offense. James Cook and Josh Allen seem to be doing well. Kale Shakir. But I will say, they need to get Amari Cooper the ball more.
Well, they'll plan him into it, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of get him his attributes and what he can do, what he can bring to the table.
They have so many weapons, and their defense is looking pretty good as well. But
defense is starting to come around. That's true. Josh Allen, I think, is having a really good year.
He doesn't
seem to be making the mistakes that he did, and I don't know if it's because there's less pressure on him. I think James Cook has helped him out a lot.
Yeah.
I think having an established running game, and they're starting to figure out an identity. So, they're not the best, but they're pretty good. All right, here we go. Okay. Top 2, number 2 team. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, Chiefs are there because of the 2-time defending champions, and they haven't lost a game yet this year. However, they have played, I think, outside of the game over the San Francisco 49ers, where it was a 2-possession game. Basically, every game they've won this year has been a 1-possession game, right? There might be another in there that I can't remember. Mm-hmm. But they play close games, they play ugly games, and they just find a way to sneak it out at the end.
Yep.
And so they're still weak to me in a lot of areas. Mm-hmm. They're very not good at the beginning of a game. Mm-hmm. They let teams hang around. Their defense is really strong. The defense, what Steve Spagnuolo is doing on defense, Chris Jones, the secondary.
Trent McDuffie.
Yeah, those guys, they're the ones to me that are giving them this ranking. It's not Patrick Mahomes. It's not even necessarily the play calling. Mm-hmm. That's got them at number 2.
None of that, but their receiving core, man, so many injuries for their
receiving. And their main running back's injured as well. So they went back to Kareem Hunt, who's done okay for a couple weeks. Yeah. But we'll see how long that lasts. He's a little old for a running back, so
Mhm.
we'll see how he does.
Mhm.
But they're number 2 because of the aforementioned things, but they're not number 1,
Mhm.
which is our number 1 or my number 1. I think yours is
Mhm.
probably the same one.
Lions.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just destroying people.
They just look so good.
They do. We could be completely fooled. It may be fool's gold, but and by the way, that's the only NFC team that I put in the top 5. Was the
Really?
Lions. Yeah.
Might be the same for me too.
Yeah, the Lions just. I realize it's Jared Goff,
Oh yeah.
but he's a system quarterback.
Yes, they're all AFC.
They're starting to pull ahead now. This is a big game coming up that we're going to discuss in. They're playing the Packers this week, so this is a game for them that they have to push forward. And they lost that goofy one of the Buccaneers, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I didn't lose by much.
My Commanders also lost the Buccaneers. So I don't know what it is with the Buccaneers.
Right? That's why I believed in them, but yet they lost to the Falcons, but whatever. Point being is, I think that they're just, I mean, they didn't even hardly win with offense. Put up 52 points, but that was mostly because of defense and of special teams. And even though Aiden Hutchinson went down, they don't seem to be missing a beat.
Yeah.
I think that Dan Campbell's gotten smarter as a head coach. I think he's learned from his overly aggressiveness last year. And they got the one loss. They're rolling. And it's sad for them because their bye was too early in the season for them.
Yeah.
So they're going to come up with some problems later on in the year. And they'll probably lose a couple of clunkers, maybe 2 or 3. But I would be hard-pressed to see an NFC team dethrone them for the number 1 seed.
It would be rough. Yeah.
I mean, the Commanders could put up a good fight. I mean, I don't know how we're not talking about that Hail Mary.
Yeah,
that
we're probably-
play. I mean, they got some magic going on in Washington right now, and it's possible to dethrone them as the season goes on. But right now, I think they got the number 1 seed in the NFC, and I don't know of a team that could go in there and beat them yet.
Yeah, yet.
So that's why I got them in number 1.
Now for our predictions.
Predictions. Week 9.
Yes.
9? Wow, week 9. So we're halfway through. That was a good time. I didn't even think about it. We're kind of halfway through the season. So that was a good time to pick our top 5 and our worst 5.
Yep.
Yes. And so now we got to move on. Do what we do. We got to guess the week. And the first game is tomorrow night. Houston Texans taking on the Aaron Rodgers of New York Jetsdom. Jetsdom.
Mhm.
The Jetsons. I don't know what I'm saying there. I'm trying to be cool, but I'm not. It's failing miserably. Yeah, the New York Jets. I'm failing like the New York Jets. A segue, I tied it all together. Okay. All right, so I chose Texans. I'm giving up on the Jets.
And
They're
also,
broken.
Also, I put them in top 5, so I think they can beat them no problem.
Yeah. They probably. I think it'll be a little bit of a problem, but I just believe more in the Texans than I do the Jets.
Yep.
Jets have no leadership anywhere. All right. The next game, Sir Timothy, is the Dallas Cowboys at the Atlanta Falcons. Apparently, we don't believe in the Cowboys anymore either. They made it close. They came back. They should not have gotten that close at the end of that game. They looked good in the first half. Niners destroyed them in the third quarter. And because Kyle Shanahan is still the head coach for the 49ers, he will allow any team to score 2 to 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. As a result of that, they kind of came back, but the Niners had just enough of a lead. And had they had a 10-point lead, they would have lost the game. But thank God they had at least a 17-point lead in which they only lost or won by 6. Thank you, Kyle Shanahan. Problem still in San Francisco. They're on a bye this week. Maybe some people will come back healthy. Maybe that helps.
Could have been worse.
Could have been worse, but yeah. Back to the Cowboys. I just Dak looked awful.
They seem like a fourth quarter
They don't have
team.
a running game. They have no running game. Dak gets fancy feet, and he just makes bad decisions. And I think that there's too many weapons that the Falcons have.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The Denver Broncos at the Baltimore Ravens. I agree. I think the Ravens, I think they're on a bye next week. No, they got a bye not for another few weeks, but they shouldn't have lost that one in Cleveland, and they got to, if they want to keep pace with Pittsburgh, they got to keep the throttle down. So I think that they're in not panic mode, but they're in, hey, we got to win.
Pursuit mode.
Pursuit mode. That's a great mode. I like that.
Yep.
All right, some old Knight Rider action.
Oh, yeah.
Pursuit mode. All right. Next, we have the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills.
Bills.
The Bills. Is it a trap game, though?
It might be a trap game. I mean, obviously, Tua is back.
All right.
Hopefully, he can get some players more involved, like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane. Get some more momentum here.
Right. But the Bills understand that this is a division game, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for a division game to be a trap game, I guess. But
because you know them so well.
You know them so well, but you always got to be prepared.
Yep.
And I just think that the Bills just got something. They look to me, I can't explain it. They look just a little bit different, which is weird because they got rid of most of their receivers.
Yeah.
And they traded away their pick and didn't get Xavier Worthy, but I think it's still working out for them.
I think Keon Coleman's actually better.
Okay. And they got, Amari Cooper, so they got that veteran guy, little leadership thing going on in there. So, all right. Next is New Orleans Saints at the Carolina Panthers. I think this is the first time I've pulled or chose the Saints.
It's been a while since I've chosen the Saints.
Well, they'd have to be up against somebody like the Panthers for me to choose them.
Yeah.
I don't know if Carr's back or not. I don't really research that team because that game, I mean, that's one of many turd bowls this week. I mean, that is
bad.
I don't know who's watching it except the fan base. Please do not put this on any sort of network television where we got to suffer through it.
We have to.
Yeah.
Because we don't have Prime.
We're cheapskates. We do the free television and that's it.
Simple enough.
That's what YouTube is for. The highlights. All right. Las Vegas Raiders at Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, the Kitty Cats, they gotta roar back if they want to make the playoffs because they are falling way, way behind. Again, my heart goes out to my brother's team. I don't know what they got to do. I mean,
who knows? They could win.
They could win, and on any given Sunday, of course, they could win. But I don't know. There's just something ain't right there. Okay, the Los Angeles Chargers at the Cleveland Browns. I also chose Chargers.
It's gonna end up like last week, isn't it?
What are we choosing the same ones?
Yeah, so far we haven't chosen a different one.
Really?
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
What if we do choose the exact same teams?
If we choose the exact same teams, I don't know. It's a push. It's a tie.
Maybe.
It doesn't count.
Maybe we could predict one team's score, and whoever's closest gets the win.
If we go through this entire thing, okay, we have to guess the score for the Monday night game. How about that?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay? So far we're tied? Haven't even been paying attention, but okay. So we've chosen the same. Okay, all right. Yeah. All right, so your Commanders at the New York Giants. Sorry. They're playing the same pathetic way, so.
It's
almost the same. W for win.
Winners.
Winner. All right, yeah, watch the Commanders. Man, Jaden Daniels. What an awesome game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, but right there at the end.
Oh!
I've never seen that. I've never seen that live, like in a game that at the last. It's like, I know Aaron Rodgers has done that a couple times, I suppose, but dude, I don't know. It's just more special watching him do it. It was just good.
It was just good.
All right. The New England Patriots at the Tennessee Titans. Turd Bowl number 2.
2.8.
Oh, man.
Dang it. Choose something different.
No, you choose something different. I'm not choosing the Titans ever. I mean, why would I? Okay. Yeah, all right. Okay, this is a tough one. This one was a tough one for me. It's the Chicago Bears at the Arizona Cardinals.
This is where it gets rough.
This is where it gets rough. This is where the rubber meets road, but it was tough for me. But Oh! Okay, so
we don't have to do the Monday night thing.
we don't have to do the Monday night thing. All right,
Yeah.
so that's it. So that's the dividing one. So
Yep. Unless there's something different.
all dad fans pull for the Cardinals.
And all teenage fans.
Spuds. All right, enough of that. I don't like pulling for the Cardinals. I don't like cheering for the Cardinals because if they win, they go 5-4. But I just
Got that gut feeling?
yeah, because they're at home and I don't know, man.
They look better.
They look better, but Caleb Williams, I feel like he hasn't quite matured yet.
Yeah, and I don't know. When I watched that game, it was like, he threw another bad pass.
He threw a lot of bad passes.
It's like behind him, over him. It's like never to him.
Yeah. So, anyhow, it was not his best showing, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. And not that there's anything special about the Cardinals, it's just that they're at home. I think Kyler Murray's starting to figure something out. They got a little bit of mojo going on in Arizona, which I don't like. Mm-hmm. So obviously, so I don't know. All right, we got Jacksonville at the Philadelphia Eagles. I think this was pretty much predicted. Yep. Although you would like it if Jacksonville won.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
It would be sweet.
Jacksonville, please. That'd be great.
Please, Jacksonville, just win one game. Okay. Next is the Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers. This is where the rubber meets the road. This could be a really good game for division lead. Going with the Lions.
Roar.
Roar. It's on the road, but I think the Lions are rolling. They'll find a way to win. It's gonna be a tough game. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. It's definitely not gonna be a blowout, but they might be able to figure out how to get that game-winning field goal or something. Next was the Los Angeles Rams. It's at the Seattle Seahawks. Oh,
I have a problem.
Did you forget a game?
What? Well,
there's the Rams at the Seahawks down there. Do you not see that one?
No, it's covered in the terrible ink from the printer.
Don't be blaming the printer. So if you had to choose between the Rams and the Seahawks, who would you choose?
Rams, Seahawks.
You're choosing Seahawks? Okay, so now there's two.
Okay.
Because I'm choosing the Rams. Okay. Because I think the Rams are rolling. They got Puka Nacua, which is fun to say. And they got Cooper Kupp back. And Matthew Stafford. And I feel like there's a lot going on in Seattle. They were really discombobulated last week. And
there we go.
Safe. But they're not winning. It's going to be the Rams. Unfortunately, I don't want either one to win, but
gotta choose one.
Well, maybe they can tie. All right. Next one. My eyes are having a hard time seeing that one.
Indianapolis at Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We already know who you chose.
Yep. I chose the Vikings here.
I also chose the Vikings. Vikings are going to just keep pace. They're going to have to start winning. And I don't think that Indianapolis can beat them. I know that they got Joe Flacco, and I thought about it for a while. I'm like, oh, Joe Flacco? Joe Flacco's coming back. But you know what?
It's the Vikings.
I think the Vikings defense they didn't look as good the last couple games, but I think that they're going to find something and they're going to come back. All right, next we have the Monday night game.
Yep.
Which is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road
at the KFC Chefs.
Still undefeated. It's not going to be this week.
Yep.
Unfortunately. Who is the team that's going to beat the Chiefs?
Who is the team?
Who is the team that's going to beat the Chiefs?
Lions.
Well, they're not scheduled to play until if they both make it to the Super Bowl. It's got to be somebody in their division. I would say either the Chargers or the Broncos have a good shot.
Yep.
We'll see. They're not going to go undefeated.
Yeah, it's just going to happen eventually.
Eventually, somebody's going to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just who it's going to be.
Who's it going to be?
Who's it going to be? Somebody's just got to stop making mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
They're a perfectly beatable team. They just people have to play them and not make mistakes. You just have to play a perfect game.
Yeah.
Which right now nobody else is capable of doing
For some reason.
But if Zay Flowers gets his little toes and bounds on that first game,
I think it's Isaiah Likely, too.
No, the last play wasn't it Zay Flowers?
That was Isaiah Likely.
Oh, all right. Well, but either way, Ravens, work on your footwork. All right, well, that's about it for us for this week. We hope you've enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, put any comments. That's not. Well, I guess you put a mean one in there. We wouldn't like that though, and it's not nice to not be nice. That's a redundant definition, I suppose. But anyhow, we will see you all next week.
Bye.